Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'd like to congratulate one of our City Hall.
Let me do roll call real quick,
Oh,
Mayor.
I'm so sorry.
That's
I
okay.
jumped.
Councilman Bodier.
Present.
Councilman Benton.
Present.
Councilman Hewitt.
Present.
Councilman Johnston.
Present.
Councilman Wheeler.
Present.
Mayor Maselli.
Here.
Police Chief Walker.
Here.
Fire Chief St. Cyr.
Present.
And City Attorney London.
Present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, for keeping me in order. I'd like to congratulate one of our City Hall employees, Ms. Charlene Matty. She has a new grandbaby. It's her third. Ms. Ella Grace was born today. So, happy new delivery. 21 inches, 7-something pounds, so I have to get the exact measurements. The coincidence here is that we're celebrating other birthdays here as well. Stu Foley is our playground director. It's his birthday today. All right. And our chief of police, Tim Walker, happy birthday to you too. Oh, okay. Madam Clerk?
Special presentations. 2015 JPRD 10 and under and 12 and under girls biddy basketball East Bank champions.
Miss Dina Dunkel, do you mind coming up to the podium? And if you would mind introducing the coaches who will be making the presentations, and the coaches come up to the other side podium on your right. Coaches, why don't you go over there so the kids can line up, if you don't mind, if that works. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Gina with the recreation.
Is there a mic on? You got to turn the mic on.
Okay, 11, 12 girls were East Bank champs. We took both titles in Jefferson Parish, which was an accomplishment. I don't think we've ever done that before. We've had titles, but not both of them back, you know. But Ray Wandell was the head coach of the 9-10 girls. George Newmiller, head coach of the 11, 12 girls, and they will bring the girls up and announce their names, and they'll come up one at a time.
That's a great job.
Before I recognize the team, I'd at least like to say thank you to Stu Foley and Dina Gunkel. We've been back there for years. This is the girls, my group of girls, second time being here, one before for winning nationals. But it always starts at the top. We can't have a good program without good people at the top. And I'd like to say thank you to Stu and Dina for letting us do what we do back there. So thanks, guys. And the other reason we've always been successful is we've always had good people coaching. And Scott St. Cyr has always been there helping me. He works hard with us. And then Sally Morrow, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but she's another one that's always been there. So now on to what this is all about, our girls that played hard. First, Sage Dragon. Morgan Henderson. Congratulations. Courtney Lally. Mallory Buffkin. Mikhail Lusko, who's not here, she made the JPRD Parish team, who they didn't dismiss them, so we have 2 on that team. Brenna Mitchell. Aaron Johnson, that name's familiar. Kaylee Roche. Ashby Tuzat. Gabby Perry. Oh, there she is. Allison Windell. Jamie Wendell, who also made the parish team, is not here. And last but certainly not least, Miss Abby St. Cyr.
Congratulations, ladies.
And thank you to everyone here as well.
Thank you.
All right, for the 2015 12 and unders. Kylie Barre. Sophia Canamar. Lainey Crosby, who is not here, she's on vacation. All right. Alyssa Helwig. Hope Capias. Emily Meyer. I know. Hope. You got two of them right there. Yeah. That's Emily. Thought I'd give you two.
We're stuck together.
Summer Newmiller. Riley Shook. Carly Schneider. That's it. Thank y'all.
Congratulations, teams. Y'all did a great job. Madam Clerk, you ready now?
Checked.
You ready for me? We're going to let them maybe get settled. I'm going to let them finish going out. We'd like to proceed, and would anyone like to address the council? Would you please state your name and step up to the podium, please?
Steve Mistretta.
Hi, Mr. Mistretta.
How you doing, ma'am? Most of y'all are too young to remember the Alexes. The Alex,
Is that, okay. He's on?
It's on.
There we go.
the Alexes lived on Chrislaw. This is where I lived and grew up at. They were the original owners of the Red Wagon Grocery, where it sits at the bowling alley now. It's moved down. And I worked for the Alexes, done many jobs for them, including working in the store. One thing I learned from the Alexes was customer service and being there for the people of Harahan. Red Wagon was not just a grocery store. It was a place where people met, people shook hands, told stories, and various things of that nature. And I've sold produce in Harahan most of my life and most of my father's life. And the city, as far as I know, does not have a vendor or a peddler's permit. And the council needs to consider that. That type of permit allows a vendor like myself, or peddler, whatever classification you want to give me, to sit on state property, city property, or private property and sell produce. So I hope the council would consider this. Various cities have these types of permits. Some cities do not. I've sold produce here for quite some time, in the last 2.5 years, and I serve the community. And I think the community needs what I give them, and I hope that y'all consider this and get back to me as soon as possible.
We appreciate your hard work. I talked to code enforcement and our building official, and pulling out information about looking into a peddler's license so that we can discuss things
Yes, ma'am.
and present it to the council, let our citizens digest it. I really appreciate you coming and speaking before the council,
Yes, ma'am.
and I appreciate your hard work.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Would anyone else like to come up and address the council?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, viewing public. Tim Walker, Harahan Police Chief. I want to give a recap of 2014 from stats from the Police Department, Harahan. The overview for 2014, we answered 8,295 calls for service. We handled 143 auto accidents, issued 1,847 citations for 2,392 charges. We did 7 funeral escorts. We had 97 patrol requests. That's when somebody's on vacation, we'll check the house. If you notify the police department, we'll have a patrol request and watch your residents while you're out of town. Total number of arrests for the year was 638 for 1,114 charges. We had 153 traffic arrests, 135 felony, 587 misdemeanors, and 239 city charges. Crimes that were committed in Harahan last year, we had 1 rape, 1 robbery, 1 attempted simple robbery, 17 residential burglaries, 3 non-residential burglaries, 2 attempted burglaries, 11 motor vehicle thefts, and 110 larceny thefts, 120 assaults. As you might know, I took office last May, in about the middle of the year, and at the end of the year, officers and myself went over some of the things that were handled by the Harahan Police Department besides the regular working police officers. We have a very active reserve section, and during the year, I left a copy for the mayor and the council today. Along with the stats that I just mentioned, the calls for service that we handled, these are other events that we participated in the city of Harahan during the year 2014. We provided security and assistance for the following events: Season Grief and Loss Center annual benefit at Colonial Bowling Alley, St. Rita Knights of Columbus annual car show, the St. Rita Bingo prior to the Pecan Festival, the Halloween night in Imperial Woods, St. Rita Pecan Festival, it's a 3-day event, St. Rita Dares Club Crawfish Cook-Off. We provide security for Harahan Mayor's Court, council meetings, the Magnolia School Harahan Party at the Harahan Lions Club, the Magnolia School Halloween Party, plus other schools and churches in the city that we help as requested. The Special Olympics benefit at Colonial Bowling Alley, Harahan Elementary and St. Rita Schools annual Mardi parades, which again just occurred this past week. Other events that we're involved in, Harahan Police Department participated in the annual Night Out Against Crime at St. Rita, the Christmas parade, the Christmas toy run for the underprivileged children in Harahan, weekly church traffic detail at St. Rita Church, details at area businesses and establishments and other functions that aren't listed in the city, DWI checkpoints various times during the year, funeral escorts. We assisted with Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office on their annual polka run, also with their checkpoints and saturation patrols in the area. We do a scout orientation at the police department. Our HOPE program, which is in area schools, it's Harahan officers providing education. Street light notification, we notify energy when street lights are out. Also, this past year, a law was required where our officers and our reserve officers were required to obtain 20 hours of in-service training. Trying to operate on a 7-day, 24-hour schedule, having each officer attend 20 hours of training puts a real taxing on our resources. And again, our reserve section has helped out a lot filling those man hours when our police officers are in training, in-service training. Harahan Police Officer Special Response Team, they are conducting emergency plans for the area schools. Assist with school crossings in the morning and afternoon when available. We established a Facebook page this past year to keep our citizens updated on what's going on within the community. We also use the Nixle alert system. We had this past year the extra holiday blue light patrols. We had extra police officers patrolling the city night and day over the Christmas holidays. Distribute door hangers house to house during the year, informing the citizens that we've been in the area to check. We assist the Harahan Fire Department and EMS on rules in the city. And we do residence checks for the citizens, again, out of town on vacation. This past year, we conducted a memorial service at St. Rita for the slain officers in New York and Florida. And we participated in the DEA drug take-back program. We provided escort also for the Little Rascals Parade, and we assisted the Westwego Police Department with the Red Knight 13th Annual Poker Run. I'm very proud of the men and women of this department and the reserve section. They put in a lot of hours, and they work very hard to keep you and your family safe. As I've asked at other meetings, please lock your vehicles, lock your houses. We've had a problem a few weeks ago where some people went in our neighborhoods, they went in 5 or 6 cars. One car actually had the keys in it, and the vehicle was stolen, was later recovered in River Ridge area. But please lock your vehicles. Thank you.
Chief Walker, I'd like to tell you that I've gotten a personal phone call about that incident with the car break-in and the theft and the recovery in River Ridge. They sang our praises for Harahan. So what you do makes an impact in everyone's lives, and we'd like to thank you and everyone for all their hard work. So thank you. We will, yes, please do.
Thank you. Todd St. Cyr, Fire Chief for the City of Harahan. I'd like to remind everyone that March 28th would be our 5 mil millage renewal. It is only a renewal. We'd appreciate you getting out and voting for this so that we can continue as we are. We will be doing an open house at the fire department on March 14th from 2 to 4. Come on out and get some food and drinks and see the fire station, talk to the firemen. We'd like to show you what we're doing and what we'd like to do in the future. We appreciate y'all coming out and supporting us. Hopefully we'll get to meet a bunch of people out when we're knocking doors and handing out pamphlets, and we'll be putting signs out. If you'd like to sign to show your support, just let us know. We'll be happy to get it out to you. Thank you very much.
I'd also like to thank our fire department. The men and women who serve for Harahan go above and beyond. I've had the privilege of riding with Chief Walker, Chief St. Cyr. I've seen what they do in person. Their response is immediate, it's professional, it's caring. We need what they provide, and they do it beautifully, and they do it with economic restraints that a lot of other departments don't do it under. I can't thank you enough, and I personally ask everyone to support our efforts in renewing the millage for the fire department.
Mayor, may I ask a quick question? Chief St. Cyr, is there anything else on the ballot, March 28th?
Not that I know of.
So it's just the renewal? And can you just remind the public what the renewal of the millage will bring into dedicated funds to the department, the fire department for the city?
Dedicated revenue from the 5 mills will be about $385,000, which accounts for about 1/3 of our budget. Big hit if it goes down.
Right.
We won't be able to sustain, services as they are if we don't have that fund.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would just like to add that it was in the news today, I believe, a small community in Colorado lost their fire department because they did not have the funds to fund the fire department. So it really is important that we renew this millage. I'd hate to have to go down that road.
We appreciate it. We have a lot of work to do. This isn't all. We know we've identified the direction that we need to go in the future. We've worked with the mayor. The mayor's going to continue to work with us to get us in the right direction and take the right path. But without this, none of that would be possible. So, thank you. We appreciate your support.
Anyone else have anything? We will now close address the council.
Approval of minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on January 15th.
Do we have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minute?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by
Motion.
Councilwoman Hewitt to dispense with the reading of the minutes. I have a motion to dispense with that reading. All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on January 15th.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Wheeler and seconded by, I didn't
I'll
hear,
take it.
Councilman Johnston to approve the minutes. I have a motion to approve. All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes.
Communications. The Board of Adjustments and Appeals did not meet in January, and the Planning and Zoning Board did not meet in February. Resolutions. There are no resolutions. Ordinances for approval. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston and seconded by Councilman
I'll second it.
Hewitt.
We have a motion,
Wait, now, I'm gonna
I'm
read that.
sorry.
That's okay.
I stepped on you.
Let's see, an ordinance to enact budget procedures. Whereas the city of Harahan desires to promote transparency and accountability in government budgeting and expenditures, and whereas the Louisiana Local Government Budget Control Act, RS 39-1301-1315, sets out minimum standards for municipal budgets, and whereas RS 39-1303A permits more extensive budget practices. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of Harahan, State of Louisiana, acting as the governing authority of said city, that Section 1, the fiscal year for budgeting for the City of Harahan shall begin January 1 and continue through December 31st of each year. The mayor shall submit to the council for review an annual proposed budget of revenue and expenditures for each fund, including but not limited to general fund, capital fund, operating fund, special revenue fund, special district fund, etc., on or before the second Thursday of November in the year prior to the fiscal year. The proposed budget shall be in the line item form and shall be based on the framework contained in the chart of accounts for Louisiana local government provided by the legislative auditor as required in RS 39-1304. The council shall adopt the initial fiscal year budgets on or before December 31st in the year prior to the fiscal year. Amendments may be made at any time after adoption. The severability and repeal clause, as referenced in ordinance number 1566, is incorporated into this ordinance. This ordinance having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Do we have a motion to open to public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Hewitt. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
We have 2, any nays?
Yay.
What? Okay, yes. All yay, 5 yays, no nays. The motion passes. Would anyone like to comment on the ordinance?
No comment.
Mayor, do we not have a motion, an ordinance in place like this? It seems redundant.
There is a state statute that dictates much of this in the state statute, yes. It's similar, but this has additional things. Do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman
Second.
Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yays. Any nays? Any opposed? So 5 yays, no nays. The motion passes. Does the council have any discussion on this ordinance? Councilman Johnston?
I would like to hold off since this is my ordinance. I'd like everybody to comment first.
Okay. Councilman Bodier?
No discussion.
Councilman Benton?
We're still on the
First one.
the first
Mhm.
one. Well, I feel like Councilman Bodier, that it's a little bit redundant, and I just, I don't the only difference I see is this the one that asked for the line item? Yeah, it asked for it in line item form, which, you know, I think that we should get with our CPA and get his input on this before we make any decisions about how we want to present it, what's the best thing for the city. You know, I'm not opposed to this ordinance, but I do think it is somewhat redundant, and it almost feels like, you know, making a law to make a law. I just don't know that it's necessary. That's how I feel.
Councilman Hewitt?
Well, I guess if there's something that we need to talk about tonight, if we want to amend some of the words, but this is something that would govern our city on how we do our budget, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I don't have any amendments to it.
Councilman Wheeler?
No discussion.
Okay. All in favor of the ordinance?
You need me to talk?
I'm sorry.
Okay, no
I
problem.
did have
No
to-
problem.
You see, I do need to
Right.
get some practice here. Councilman.
That's no problem.
Thank you.
What it is, the actual statutes that are stated in this ordinance is minimal. Right here, it says, "The provisions of this chapter shall be construed as minimal requirements." So these are very minimal, trying to toughen up a little bit. What it is right now is that they've been allowed to roll over within about six months of the following year to get a budget in place. This makes it where it has to be done before the fiscal year is up. That's pretty much the gist of it as far as tightening it up. Line item budgets, you was talking about line items. I'm for line items. It gives us the opportunity to make sure money is being spent in the proper departments, the proper ways. And that's it. I think it's a good ordinance.
Well, I guess the only thing that I would like to add to that is that, and I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think that the way it is now, there's a 6-month grace period where the budget can be approved in the following year.
Right now.
Yes. And I just feel all of this is just kind of hollow, because even with all of this in place, that we have in place now, the previous administration just amended the budget until the last day of the year, of the following year. So I just don't know if there's any way that we can really hold our feet to the fire as far as it goes towards approving a budget and having it stand. And that's my concern about this. I don't really know that it accomplishes anything. And do we want to put more laws on the books when we don't need them? That's my point.
Well, I guess if I could just respond too, that the former council was ridiculed over and over again on how we managed our budget, we amended things, so it sounds like Councilman Johnson is trying to put some better checks and balances in place.
Thank you.
All in favor of the ordinance?
Yay.
Yay.
All opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
2 yeas, 3 nays. Ordinance is failed. Madam Clerk?
Ordinance number 2. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston and seconded by Councilman
I'll second.
Hewitt. An ordinance to require online posting of city budget. Whereas the City of Harahan desires to promote transparency and accountability in government budgeting and expenditures, and whereas the City of Harahan maintains an online internet website that may be accessed by the public, now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of Harahan, State of Louisiana, acting as the governing authority of said city, that on or prior to the date that a proposed budget is submitted to the council for review, the mayor shall post the proposed budget on the main city website, cityofharahan.com, or to any successor website, should the city change internet website address. Proposed budget shall remain online at least until adoption of the budget by council. Upon council adoption of any and all budgets of revenue and/or expenditures, including but not limited to special funds, districts, operating, capital, amended, etc., the mayor must take action to ensure the budget, including the mayor's budget message, if required by law to accompany the budget, is posted on the main city website, cityofharahan.com, or to any successor website should the city change internet website address. Adopted budget shall be posted online to the city website within 15 days after final passage by the council and shall remain online for public viewing for a minimum of 2 years after approval. The mayor shall notify the city council prior to the deadline to post the budget online. If the budget cannot be posted online due to any reason, including but not limited to internal technical issues, website hosting, or server error. In the event of an issue that causes the required budget to not be available online, the mayor shall report same to the council at every regular meeting until such time that the budget becomes available for online viewing. The severability and repeal clause as referenced in ordinance number 1566 is incorporated into this ordinance. This ordinance having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Benton. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, no nays. Motion passes. Would anyone like to comment on this ordinance? Do we have a motion to close public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by?
Second.
By Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed?
Nay.
We have 5 yeas, no nays. The motion passes. Does the council have any discussion on the ordinance?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. As I read through it yesterday and this evening, I thought about how everyone up here ran on transparency. That word was thrown out a lot on all of our political paraphernalia. Every forum that I attended for the city of Harahan during our races, all we talked about was transparency and how the former elected officials did not do a very good job of that for whatever reason. So we should all embrace and support transparency for our city and do the right thing and let the citizens know what we're doing. So I fully support it.
Well, I did run on transparency, as did the mayor, and as did, I think, most of us, and I do think it's a good thing. However, I don't think at this time we should be adding administrative duties when we don't have the funding or the manpower to implement what this ordinance is calling for. I think if we could just wait a couple of months, we all want this. We all know that we need to be more transparent. I think we need to focus all of our time and energy on cutting the budget and understanding the budget that this administration inherited. And I don't think we need to be giving them new tasks at this new time at the beginning of a steep learning curve. I just think that we should give this administration a little bit more time. We all want transparency. We all want to put it in place. I just don't think it's the right time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, ma'am. Go ahead, Tim.
I'd like to see the 15 days, maybe read 30 days. I do like the ordinance. I like where he's going with it. My only fear is with this is that we don't have the technology in City Hall right now to support it. I mean, I sure would, today it's going to be very hard for me to support this ordinance, but if it would come up in the near future when we can get things settled down here, get our computers and everything that's been in place, through the past administration really didn't believe in computers, but I think it's something very important. I like where he's going with it. I just think it's a little too quick right now, and I'd like to see the 15 become 30.
Anyone else?
Yeah, that's what I was asking, Mayor, was does the city have the capability for, I'm for it too, Craig, but, scanning the contracts and then putting all these things on the website? Do we even have a IT person that's on staff, or who would be responsible for doing that?
We haven't, what I've tried to do is assess the staff, the IT, all the needs. We want transparency, but we also have to make it doable. we're in a part in City Hall where we're starting from the basics. We still, just to give you an example, handwrite receipts for things that we get at City Hall, so we don't have anything electronic. We have a lot of needs that we need to meet. We don't have a server for proper emailing, archiving. We don't have IT person on staff. We don't have digital imaging that would help us with this. We have a lot of processes to put in place. We have to also assess the website to see what we can handle. I'd like to see us put some resources in place so that we can do this automatically, and so that when we develop the budget and it gets approved, there's a click of a button and it goes in.
Right. So Mayor, what kind of time frame do you think we are at getting to that point of your click of a button?
Well, what I'd like to do is, to be honest, I'd like to get us through our budget hearings, and we can prioritize and be able to do that. I think we've got some urgent things that we need to meet and be able to do this. I would love to bring this up and put the things in place that we need to bring in. I think we need the digital imaging. I think we need the email archiving. I think we need to be able to, we didn't even have capability to transform files onto, scan it and get PDF and get active forms up and going. So we've got some staffing issues also. We're trying to devise who we need doing what, looking at the type of people we want to bring and what kind of skill set.
So you do believe this is a priority, just not at the moment?
I would
that-
like the input of the council during the budget hearings so that we can prioritize and come up with that priority. Yes, I think we need a little bit of time.
I'd like to be able to answer on my part, too. For me, transparency starts now. It doesn't start in a couple months. It starts now. This ordinance right here, you don't have to put anything online for at least 6 months, because however long it takes us to get the budget is how long it's going to take to put this on. To answer the Councilman Baudier, I have no problem changing from 15 to 30 days. That is not a big issue to me. I could easily change that to 30 days. My thing is that you have plenty of time. All my ordinances I'm coming forward with have plenty of time to implement what needs to be done, and I'm standing by it. Thank you.
I'd like to just make one more comment, too. If you go on our website, there are meeting notes that are on there from previous meetings. There's basketball schedules that are scanned. It's pretty important that our budget gets on the website.
It is important that the budget gets on the website. It's also important that the laws that are there are up to date. We don't even have, our laws need to be recodified so that we can update things. We have things on the, we really need to evaluate that website and make sure that everything is accurate. We are still operating in, pardon the expression, the Laverne and Shirley type of punch-in clock system where we're going to a little punch clock. We're not even online for payroll. There's a lot of things that we need to do and tackle and get done. In order to make that budget transparent, we need to be able to put the tools in place to do it. And the places that you start are simply having accountability on and accurate payroll, so when we're developing a budget that we're putting online, it's accurate. I want transparency. I want to do it as soon as possible. I want to make everything a go. I just think we do need some tools. I've already talked to IT to develop a plan so we can initiate this as soon as possible. But, these are decisions that we leave to the council to vote on. All in favor of the ordinance?
Yay.
Yay.
All opposed?
Nay.
2 yeas, 3 nays, the ordinance fails.
Okay, ordinance number 3 for approval. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston and seconded by Councilman
Hewitt.
Hewitt. An ordinance to require online posting of contracts. Whereas the City of Harahan desires to promote transparency and accountability in government budgeting and expenditures. And whereas the City of Harahan maintains an online internet website that may be accessed by the public. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of Harahan, State of Louisiana, acting as the governing authority of said city, that all contracts, including but not limited to contracts for services, constructions, public works, purchases, consulting, employment, etc., shall be posted on the main city website, cityofharahan.com, or to any successor website site, so that should the city change internet website addresses. Contracts shall be posted by the mayor to the city website within 15 days after signing any contract and shall remain online for public viewing for a minimum of 1 year after expiration of the contract. All contracts in effect at the time of passage of this ordinance shall be posted online by the mayor prior to the expiration of 90 days after passage. The mayor shall notify the city council prior to the deadline to post a contract online if the contract cannot be posted online due to any reason, including but not limited to internal technical issues, website hosting, or server error. In the event of an issue that causes a contract to not be available online, the mayor shall report same to the council at every regular meeting until such time that the contract becomes available for online viewing. The severability and repeal clause, as referenced in ordinance number 1566, is incorporated into this ordinance. This ordinance having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Do we have a motion to open to public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded
Second.
by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Any nays? We have 5 yeas, no nays. The motion passes. Would anyone like to comment on the ordinance? Do we have a motion to close the public hearing? Motion by Councilman
I'll take it.
Johnston, seconded by Councilman Benton. All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed? We have 5 yeas, no nays. Motion passes. Does the council have any discussion on this ordinance?
No discussion.
Any discussion? All in favor of the ordinance?
Yay.
Any nays?
Nay.
We have 2 yeas, 3 nays, and the ordinance fails.
Mayor, I'd like to see if I can get the floor on a matter of personal privilege.
Sure, you can have the floor
Okay.
for personal privilege.
I ran across this earlier today on NOLA.com, saying that at Harahan City Hall, new mayor Tina Maselli moves toward transparency. In here, it states that you had informed the newspaper that you were the one that worked on the first and second ordinance that I brought forward tonight. Is that correct?
No, I did not say I worked on the ordinance.
Okay, so you,
I did not say
okay,
I
I'm
worked
just
on
making
it.
sure because I put a lot of time and effort into this ordinance.
No, I'm sorry.
And it reads to me
Councilman,
that,
it's the first I've heard of it.
all right, because it's right here. It reads to me that you did the first and second, and I did the third. So I was just,
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
okay.
Ordinance for introduction. Ordinances for intro, there are no ordinances for introduction tonight. Old business, there's no old business. New business.
We're going to take both those items up in March.
Okay.
What items? There are items to.
Budget hearings and,
Budget hearings.
planning and
To get
zoning.
the dates of the budget hearings and to.
Planning and zoning nominee
Yes,
and
a
appointment.
nominee for the planning and zoning.
Well, I'd like to nominate someone for planning and zoning tonight, if you don't mind.
Okay. you would
His
like-
name is Dale Velez. He lives on Elaine. He couldn't make it here tonight. He's actually out of town, but he is a small business owner, and he's been a part of this community for quite some time now. I don't know exactly how many years, but longer than me. And I think he would be a great fit for planning and zoning.
And Mayor, I'd like to second that too.
To no- for
Motion.
the nomination.
Nomination.
Okay. I'd like to put that on for next month.
March
Yes.
for the appointment. Okay. Address the council.
I'm so sorry. Would anyone like to address the council?
You all have a new sound system. Everybody sits a mile back from the microphone, and nobody in the back can hear what y'all are saying.
Thank you.
So I think you should put the mics closer and speak up.
Thank you. Every time I try and move it,
I know, we'll get that
it
fixed.
causes a
Correct.
problem,
We'll
sorry.
look into that.
We will now close, address the council. Did I do better, Ms. Butera? Thank you.
Secretary's report, total receipts for January, $1,227,998.34. And reports.
Chief Walker, would you like to give us a report? Or
He gave his reports. Already did it.
He didn't do his monthly report.
He already, did he?
So, report for January 2014. We had 679 calls for service. We had 9 accidents, auto accidents that we handled. 155 citations were issued for 210 charges. We had 6 patrol requests. We had 49 arrests for 75 charges. 9 were traffic, 5 were felony, 48 misdemeanors, and 13 city. We had 1 residential burglary, 2 larceny thefts, and 6 assaults. Again, please lock your vehicles in your homes. Thank you.
Wait, Tim, could you, can I read this letter? Can I read this letter? Yeah. I received this letter from a resident in Harahan. It says, "Dear Miss Benton, I am in fear of retaliation, so I declined to sign this letter. My husband and I live in Harahan. He got a traffic ticket for speeding in Harahan. However, the ticket is written for First Parish Court. He asked why it was not a Harahan ticket. He was told that the Harahan Police Office makes more money for writing the ticket at First Parish Court. When this happens, Harahan gets no fine or court costs, and Jefferson Parish gets the money. Why would our city council allow this to happen when our city needs the income? Thank you." And I spoke to Mr. Walker about this, so he was aware.
Did some research. In 2014, there were 1,847 citations issued for 2,392 charges. Certain citations have to go to First Parish Court. For example, DWIs, that's a mandatory First Parish Court. We can't handle that. Out of the 1,836 citations that were issued, 11 went to First Parish Court. First of all, officers, most of our tickets are written under state statute, so they have the option to write either city court or First Parish Court. We instituted, after I came in the office, that if you write 7 tickets, you can send 1 ticket to First Parish Court. Officers in this past year very rarely got subpoenaed to court to testify. A lot of our officers are young, and they need courtroom testimony to help them in their job. And we felt that there was an option that by them going to First Parish Court, they had that opportunity. Since the new administration came in, this last court, just a few weeks ago, 4 of our officers had subpoenas to go to court. Also, our officers do, when they go to court, they do get a $50 up to a maximum $150 for overtime if they're off duty to attend court. So I would think in the future, unless it's a mandatory citation for First Parish Court, they'll be going to Harahan. So,
thank you. Chief St. Cyr, would you like to give a report?
No, thank you.
Councilman Bodier?
I would just like to send my prayers out to Ms. Margaret Broussard. I know she had a surgical procedure done, and I really hope that she does well. I really miss her here anyway. She's taken me under her wing when I first came aboard 6 years ago, and we're still very close to this day. And if you get a chance, Mr. Lenny has got the Happy Italian over there. I mean, y'all got to go try his food. It's amazing. I love him. Mr. Lenny's a great guy, a great patron of Harahan. So I implore to everyone here, please support your Harahan business. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Benton?
Well, I just want to thank I should have done this last meeting, and I failed to do so. I think I had stage fright. So I would like to thank everyone who voted for me. I'm honored and I feel it's a great opportunity and privilege to be able to serve the city of Harahan, and I appreciate all of your votes. Thank you.
Councilman Hewitt?
No report.
Councilman Johnston?
Again, as far as transparency, people talking about need to hold off, need to hold off. Everybody ran on transparency, need to be done. Here we are 2 months in, and we're not ready to move on transparency. To me, that's a joke. We talk about it, we should be doing it. I request from the city clerk that the failed ordinances tonight, I'd like to be put on the agenda again for next month, along with this ordinance, please. And thank you.
Councilman Wheeler?
Well, I'm going to take a moment. I would like to congratulate my daughter and the Mount Carmel competition cheerleading team. We just came back from Orlando 2 weeks ago, and they placed 10th out of 55 teams in the nation. So I was very proud of her and her team.
Congratulations.
And thank you. Y'all have a good evening.
Madam Clerk?
Pay the bills. Bills paid for January 2015 in the amount of $194,053.74. And,
Are we inviting a secret?
you want Robert to come up and speak?
I'm just going to invite Robert Heinz with Heinz and Macaluso if he would like to have, does he have anything to offer or would like to say anything? He's our finance director.
Sure, thank you. That we've provided financial reports to the council for the month of December in a format that's been consistent with what's been provided before, with the level of detail you guys are used to getting. We're also provided a summary sheet, balance sheet, and income statement that's consistent with the way the fund financials are reported in the audit reports. So our goal is to continue just to give you guys the information that you need to do your jobs, and I'm available to discuss those financials at any time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Executive session, no executive session, and adjourn.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Bodier, seconded by Councilman Hewitt to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Yay.
Any nays? We have 5 yays, no nays. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.